Welcome to the Kiff and Ang Podcast. This series is faith, spirituality, and cults in San Francisco. And today we're going to be talking about the Church of Satan. Hey, Ang.
Hi, how is everyone?
Everybody here is safe and well. I hear you're feeling a little under the weather. Crossing our fingers, it's not the big 1-9. So
Yeah, I'm sure I'll be fine.
no worries. We'll have another testing podcast coming up soon.
Right?
So we're going to jump right into it today. Is that right? Or do we have some shout outs we want to give first? Or?
Well, we definitely want to give some shout outs because some things have been happening on the YouTube channel. Remember?
Hello. Thank you to all of our new subscribers. All 10 of you.
Yeah.
Thank you. But for real, like for a channel that's just beginning and we already have 10 new subscribers. Woo!
Yeah. So it's a total of 26 subscribers on YouTube so far. So yeah, definitely picking up some pace there and got some playlists going on. And also, of course, we want to talk about Patreon. We are funded at the moment entirely through Patreon. So if you could just hit us up there at www.patreon.com and then look us up under creators under Kiff and Ang Podcast. You'll find us there. And I would just want to say to our VIP patron, Renee Ciccione, thank you, girlfriend. You are the bomb.
So today we are talking about the Church of Satan. And unlike the adrenochrome sucking lizard people vampires all over the internet now, the Church of Satan is not that. It is not the I get deep into the conspiracies. So yeah, they're not what you think of maybe when you've been seeing some of the conspiracy theory stuff you may be seeing online with the adrenochrome and even the satanic ritual stuff that you may have heard about in the 80s. It is completely separate from the Church of Satan. In fact,
nothing to do with like
the
sacrifices or anything. No.
I mean, I've known some Satanists, so they've never wanted to sacrifice anything with me.
But is a Satanist the same as a Church
not
of
Satanist,
Satan?
Pardon me. I've met members of the Church of Satan.
Okay.
My bad.
Okay.
My bad. My friends who were members of the Church of Satan were incredibly kind people, and that's the truth of it. Now, it might surprise you to know that the Church of Satan was actually found in San Francisco, and Anton
LaVey.
It's the middle name I'm kind of looking at. I mean, Anton LaVey.
Oh, Zandor. Yeah.
Anton Zandor LaVey started the Church of Satan on April 30th of 1966, and it was in a house painted black that formerly stood at 6114 California Street. Now there's like a duplex there. It's in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And it was actually the headquarters for the church up until 2001. They painted the house completely black, and in it, LaVey would hold something called the Black Mass.
Yeah.
Seminars on Satanism and teach and practice rituals there up until 1972. Now, when I'm explaining this to people, and I kind of prefaced it with, they're so nice. They're not crazy.
Right.
That sounds freaky deaky, and what the heck?
I agree. So when I was doing the research on this, I was a little like, and I'm Buddhist. So, and I know that like in the world of Christianity, that the word Satan is like,
it's the Satan.
It means hell. It just means like the worst possible thing you could possibly imagine in your head. And that is Satan.
The actual opposite of good. Yeah.
Exactly. And so that's kind of what I went into this research with, was this incredible fear of what I might find out.
And then what happened?
Well, okay. So let me just take a drink here. Because I got to tell you,
they're not as bad as you think they are.
I got to tell you, here's the most remarkable thing about the whole situation, which I saw right away, is the Church of Satan. Well, they don't believe in the devil.
Nope. They don't believe in God either, I don't think.
No, no. So it's not in any sense of the word in the modern world would they be familiar with the Satan or devil that the Christians or Muslims are familiar with. Um, they actually recognize Satan from the Hebrew meaning, which means adversary.
Okay.
So to them, it's adversary. To the believers of Church of Satan, Satan is the embodiment of self, of enlightenment, and
Mhm.
of individualism. So it's not what you thought Satanism was. It's the thing is, through history, there's not been a consistent example of Satanism. LaVey's Church of Satan is the only church that organized in modern day or in the modern day version of Satan worship. So when people say they're a Satanist, like Richard Ramirez with the pentagram on his hand, Satanist is just somebody who is off doing their own thing with Satan. Church of Satan is the only organized religion that involves the word Satan in the name of it. So I guess really the question is, so were there rituals and
Well,
ceremonies?
that's what I was going to say, because I like to have a little altar out. I have Christian friends who like to have altars out. I mean, if they truly didn't believe in God and the devil, what was the point of doing ceremonies or having magic and stuff like that? Like,
So here's where it gets kind of twisted, is they didn't really practice magic in the same sense that most people think that they did. They had greater and lesser magic. All right. And the ceremonies were focused on it was either a greater magic ceremony or ritual or a lesser magic ceremony or ritual. And a greater magic meant to be meditation meets energy and desire for a specific thing.
yes.
So unlike in Christianity, where you have to give of yourself and you have to be humble and not be like, I want a Corvette, God. You can totally be like, I am going to focus my energy on getting a Corvette, which unbelievably is very similar to the Buddhism that I practice.
Well, it's kind of similar to the white girl, paganism I practice, which is, the whole focusing on getting what you want. You put up your spirit board, you know what I mean? Okay, I want to make this and this amount of money. I want
It's
this
just
to happen to my career. It's that focusing your energy, power of positive thinking. I mean, there's books, there's movies about it.
it's just encased in this brand that Anton LaVey created in the Church of Satan. And here's another thing: the lesser magic that I mentioned, the greater and the lesser magic. The lesser magic is a focus on manipulating a situation using psychology to achieve your goal.
Ugh.
Now, let's talk about who does.
As a pagan who tries not to mess with stuff, if you don't know how to mess with stuff, don't mess with stuff. That stuff will come back to you times 3. That's what I
But
personally believe, and I'm just throwing my personal beliefs out there.
who
Be
does that?
careful. Be
My
careful.
point is who uses psychology in their spiritual organization to get an edge over someone. I mean, openly. Like, you
Not,
can watch it on videos right now.
you're not talking about Scientology,
I am.
dude. I have a buddy who went clear.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, there you
anyway,
go.
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. And good for him. Good for him. He spent a lot of money to do it. That's for sure.
Basically, the belief is that they're they were unharnessed natural forces that could be used to combined with their desire and the approval to have desire are the tenets of the Church of Satan. So in other words, you can tap into this space somewhere within your brain or your being or your existence or universe
Sure.
and ask for what you need and be okay to receive. And be okay to receive.
Lightning bolt. Sorry. So,
It's not what I thought the Church of Satan
okay.
was.
It is what the church of says. So, it's a summer of love. Everything and anyone in
1966, but it's happening.
LaVey became an interest. He was a hip new thing. He expanded his lectures to Los Angeles, and he picked up a few celebrity followers. Sammy Davis Jr., though, I thought he was Jewish. That was
I
my
thought
thing.
he was Jewish too. I had no idea.
Jane Mansfield was a member, but not for very long. She was tragically decapitated in an auto accident in 1967. Also the mother of Mariska Hargitay from Law and Order SUV. LaVey became so well known in the Hollywood circle, he even added a few movie and TV credits to his name. He established offshoots of his church throughout the U.S. They called them grottos, and they continued to gain popularity and even become an icon of the times. Now, LaVey wasn't without his branding.
He was. Wait until they see pictures in this video.
LaVey wasn't without his branding. He kept his head shaved and his eyebrows plucked and shaped to a wicked point. He had like a hipster mustache and beard long before it was hipster, and always dressed in black and sometimes with a cape. Forever playing the role or just being dark enough to have people wanting more. Truly like that cult sort of
bad
temptation.
Boy. Yeah, exactly. At just the right time with all the people at just the right age.
Now, in the 1980s, Anton's daughter, Zena, she came forward as a spokesperson and a high priestess for the church. Her sincere effort was to debunk the rumors and myths that surround the church on a number of talk shows. I grew up watching them. And sadly, it didn't even have the effect that she wanted. It was the actual opposite effect. And Christians started to speak out more and more as Zena went out more and more to try to legitimize the church and make it look non-threatening. And it had the opposite effect. It started to look very threatening. And then the Church of Satan began to pull back those public appearances.
Yep. They decided there was no point in that. And so, yeah, why bother? Why bother if it's just going to give fodder?
And then the prophet died. And then what happened?
Well, yeah, Anton LaVey died, and he was a prophet to his followers. There came a few splits in the church, as come with any founding religion. That always happens when the founder dies. And for a few years, the church leadership changed a few times. Currently now, the headquarters is no longer in San Francisco. As we mentioned before, that building no longer exists. It's in Hell's Kitchen, New York. I know, right? The Church of Satan in Hell's Kitchen.
Of course. More branding. Very clever, guys.
The high priest is Peter H. Gilmore, and the high priestess is Peggy Nadramia.
Okay.
So they do carry on. They do still exist. They're just no longer in San Francisco.
What a cool little view into the Church of Satan. Now, if you are a member or know somebody or have a good story or a story about Anton himself, we'd love to see that in the comments. That'd be amazing. And if you want to talk to us,
somebody who knew Anton, somebody who went to the Church of Satan, that would be too cool.
Yeah, please comment.
Yeah.
That being said, this has been another episode of the Kiff and Ang Podcast, and we sincerely hope you enjoyed it. If you really enjoyed it, hit us up on Patreon. We work really hard to put these together.
Right. So don't forget to like, subscribe. You don't want to get FOMO, and click. Yeah. Fear of missing out.
Oh,
so yeah. You don't want that to happen. So you should subscribe. So click the notify button. That way you will always know when the next Kiff and Ang podcast show comes out. And if you enjoyed this episode, don't miss the episode that I'm going to link to at the end, which is about Charlie Manson's time in San Francisco, just in case you missed it. Also, check out our new channel, Epic Listicles.
It's awesome.
Thank you. You guys have a great day.
Bye, guys.